Hey guys, how's it going? Ivano here with another edition of top DPS in green gear. I have some legendary implants but no augments whatsoever, so we're trying to see whether our supreme skill on Guardian can bring us to the top of the damage charts. This is the build I'm running. I'm running Vigilance today, and last time we looked at war zones, so today we're looking at arenas. And one tip if you're playing arenas is, well, you can join in the last second of the pop, for example. That gives you some little advantage because the enemies will have less time to react. So we're jumping in, we're trying to do maximum damage, don't waste any time. We are Vigilance, so we are hoping for a game where the enemy will stack. And it looks like the sorcerer just absolutely decides to not use any of his cooldowns. So at this point the game is pretty much won, and we are trying to just really stand in the middle of as many people as possible in order to get our slam spam off. So the sorcerer finds a bubble, but the juggernaut is also already pretty low. No big problem there. Pushing this guy just for bad manner. ... killing everyone. So I'll speed this up a little bit because there's more than one arena game. At the end of the war zone, 8k DPS is nothing to write home about. Unfortunately, we did not get top DPS. It can be tough. I mean, Vengeance is probably the best spec to farm DPS on, but you kind of do need the enemies to stack. And here we're seeing the commando is kind of late out of the respawn. So we're jumping to him, rooting him. His team doesn't pull him even though they have two sorcerers, and he is forced to use all of his cooldowns. We're pushing him in the reflect, and of course AoE goes through reflect, so we're slamming. And he dies before his team even did anything. Although it looks like our assassin engaged up here, so that's good. And now look, we have 3 people stacking. We can slam, we can do some nice damage. Our assassin, who was the top DPS in the last round, has to vanish out. So that means we have a chance to get rank 1 damage farmer in this game. So yeah, putting our plasma brand on the target, really just trying to do as much damage as we can. Slam, get our Hue, the execute proc, for a scream. Using Intercede, that's always something you can do. If your force charges on cooldown, Intercede to a teammate for mobility. It is also a root break, and we execute the sorcerer. And there we have it. In the second round, 860k damage, only 11k DPS, but it's enough to get top DPS overall in green gear. And that could be the end of the video. But I actually played some more games. This is all on the German server, by the way. Population there, I would say, is probably not the best, so some of these names that you see here in the arena, they will be repeated. But again, I'm just charging in, I really don't care. I know I'm Juggernaut, I'm popping my cooldown right away. I expect all of them will focus me. Juggernaut, you know, how to survive an arena? The answer is, you really don't. Just kind of run in, do maximum damage, and then you die. I would definitely recommend that you run Reflect, because that's at least 5 seconds that you will live, and at least no single target damage can hit you. But you can see here they're doing quite a good job of focusing me, and even though I used all my defensive cooldowns, I die pretty quickly. However, the enemies also die, so now it's a 3 versus 3. And then this guy dies, and this guy dies. Now it's a 1v2, but the Madness Sorcerer reigns supreme. Now it's a 1v1. I'll speed this up quickly because the guys were fighting for a couple of seconds. And here you think after this force camouflage, ooh, the sorcerer's dead. But no, he has his barrier. He has dots on the sentinel. The sentinel runs around trying to find a healing stim, which of course doesn't exist, and he dies. Definitely not top DPS in this round in my green conquest gear, but hey, sometimes the team carries you, right? So next round, I don't want to die instantly, so I'm hiding down here. We're just kind of waiting for the enemies to engage this time. And indeed, a melee sorcerer jumps down. So we're putting our dots on him. Again, we're hoping for a dot spread. It happens here, at least we can spread on 2 people with our plasma brand, doing damage, and we're popping our cooldowns early. That's really is like the biggest thing you need to do when you want to play Guardian or Juggernaut in arena, is to pop your cooldowns early. Don't be greedy because you can get one shot. So this round, I think not one of our best performances. My teammate is getting 1v1 somewhere. I'm just farming damage on this Juggernaut. Again, Juggernaut and Guardian, they are very good targets. So at the same time, I'm trying to help my mercenary who dies. Using my Mast Taunt here, probably could have used it sooner. And now I'm trying to lost the sniper. It is a 2v2 because in a second Nah, actually it's a 3v3, but unfortunately our teammate loses the 1v1. So now we're in a 3v2 and it's gonna be hard to win. I'm at pretty full health here, so I think I might be fine. But you can see in a second what happens if you get bursted by 3 players and you don't have any cooldowns. You know, as Guardian, you just kind of die. So the sniper still has all of his cooldowns. Yeah, he's running the big shield. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do against that, and we simply die. Fast forward, so we lose the second round. Now running into the third round, I mean, again, I was trying to win, but mostly I was trying to farm damage. We're just kind of waiting here at the GTN kiosk, again, waiting for the enemies to maybe make a mistake. And here, the Juggernaut jumps down, our whole team engages on him, and that's a pretty good plan. Should probably have marked him target, but he gets net, so at this point I'm like, okay, this guy cannot really escape. I'm gonna smash into him. And the 2 melees, they stack up a little bit, so again, it's just really ... Vengeful Slam, pop your Enrage. That gives you an extra crit chance because you're running Champion's Precision for Massive Slam. We don't really get the best procs here. You can see now our Plasma Brand is again off cooldown, we're using it immediately. So really just for damage farming, you know. You've seen it probably in my interface guide, but I like to have one of these like focus bars in the middle of the screen so I can put my 4 or 5 most important abilities and I can make sure that they are always on cooldown. So here it's a 2v2 and now I can 1v1 the Sorcerer. I've seen him fail his cooldowns earlier, so immediately break the Heart Stun. It looks like he's running the 25% less damage talent, Torturous something it's called, forget about that. But that's new in this patch, it's pretty strong and pretty annoying. But then again, I can survive 10 seconds against him, I still have my med pack, and he is forced to barrier. I know he's going to barrier here, I jump down to help my teammate, since I know that Mercenary is losing usually in a 1v1 against the Sniper. Sniper probably still has cooldowns, for some reason he chooses not to use them. Uses them late, he rolls away and pops his big shield. Sorcerer makes a big mistake there running into melee range, he could have just stayed up there and probably killed me. But he throws the game. And that is how sometimes, you know, with a little bit of skill and experience in Arena, you can win even though you're wearing Conquest gear. Alright, different map, Corellia Square. This one is not that great for Slam Spam Guardian because it's a wide open space. You want the opposite. On the enemy team, again, it's 3 ranged, so this is actually the best that can happen, right? If they're hiding behind the box, it's a big mistake from them. Because here, they're all in this tight space and I can really slam spam in there. So I'm jumping in, I don't waste any time, right? You can never play like a bitch when you're playing melee, you have to run in and you have to fight, especially if you want to get top DPS. If I was tryharding for wins here, maybe I would have stayed back, let one of my teammates engage, but I really don't care, I just want to farm damage and I don't mind if I die first. Look what happens now, again, this is some of the same players I already played against. And it looks like they don't have barrier, for some reason the Sorcerer dies without using anything there. But really the mistake was in the first place that they were all standing together, kind of in a puddle behind the box, and I got some damage off. Even though it was only 350k, apparently they were so scared that they forgot how to barrier. And in the second round, this Marauder just totally trolls, not sure what he was doing, probably he was mad because his teammates don't use their abilities or something. So he's a special snowflake, he runs in. And of course, at this point, the arena is all but over, since it's a 4v3. Sorcerer uses Face Walk this time, but it's all too little too late. This guy, I think he barriers at this point prematurely, and yeah, I'll spare you the rest of the match, but it was a free win. Not top DPS though, you know, it's kind of hard to do if you die in the first round. Oh yeah, then we had this game, which was a 2v3, so server merges maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just a little bit early in the day. But yeah, it was a quick win, I'll spare you the details. Did not get top DPS in this one. Second round was a 4v3, slam, 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 free win. Did get top DPS in the second round, not overall, so we're not counting that one. And I think that is the last round. This one I think was a little bit closer, but now we are already 4 wins in a row, so we want to make it 5 of course. Nevertheless, we're running in, we are the main tank, we are the Guardian, and we're trying to guard our teammates. Jumping in here, they're not really stacking this game, they're doing it better, they're spreading out, this is exactly what you should do. and they're all focusing me, but I reflect immediately, so they reflect themselves for some nice Thundering Blast damage. So I'm sitting on the Sorcerer because I know if he's going to cast and I can interrupt him, he's not going to do much. But then this guy was marked, so I quickly switch onto him. It's always good if you work together with your teammates and try to focus the same target. So it's better to be on the same page and follow the plan, even though if it's a bad plan. And that's it. 2 guys die in the enemy team. The mercenary, I used my push again. He used the defensive cooldown, so I wasn't going to damage him there. Instead, I CC him with the push. I run around the corner behind the box so he can't hit me, and I finish the Sorcerer. That's round 1. Okay, only 1 round left, so we have our 5 victories in a row. We're running in, and at this point, I think this is the same Marauder, decides to YOLO engage here. I'm just waiting a little bit, see what happens, but it looks like the Marauder is AFK. Really weird people, I don't know, sometimes he runs in, he gets netted, doesn't use anything and dies. Great individual. Mercenary immediately pops a cooldown, so again we CC him. That's something always that you can do. When they use a defensive cooldown, CC them and kite away. Immediately swapping the target, we are killing the crosshairs marked Sorcerer, who also doesn't use anything. And it's a free win pretty much, because at this point it looks like the enemy has given up. So there you go. Long story short, go in, do as much damage as you can and die. That's the game plan when you're playing Juggernaut in Arena. If you're first target and you want to try for wins, you can stay back, run away, make the enemies commit to a bad position, and then have your teammates clean them up. Another tip for the slam spammer is of course to try to stick on ranged targets, because you will be the first target as Juggernaut in Arena, and if you attack a ranged, that means the melees will come to you. Finally, if you're not the first target, then make sure to support your teammates with your taunts and intercede. Use your leap often, that will make you stun immune and give you some additional damage reduction. And if you follow all these tips, then even though you're wearing crappy conquest gear, you might be top DPS at one point in the arena. That's it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.